Now that round 6 has concluded in Ragnarok, let's go over how strong the Mad Lad Buddha is, explaining his power and abilities to enlighten people on some confusing aspects about the climax, and some what if battles in the later portion of the video to see where he currently sits power ranking wise. Hope you enjoy, let's begin. For his backstory and rise to godhood, our boy just did the legendary thinking, questioning the idea of happiness, stating, "I wonder just whose life I was living. Everything I had was handed to me." Then bang, our boy just became enlightened just like that. He would fight against the fate that had been decided for him by others and he would win. I've been covering Ragnarok as a series now for over a year, so make sure to subscribe if you enjoy chapter reviews, what if battles, explain videos and much more to come. Now let's go over his weapon-based ability, the 6 Realms, stemming from his divine weapon, the 6 Realm Staff, which of course allows him to transform the staff into various weapons. This transformation occurs in reaction to his emotions, possessing counters for a large variety of circumstances. The Divine Realm, which creates a Halberd. The Human Realm, a short sword labelled as indestructible, with his speed and power kinda changing depending on the weapon he uses. So when using the short sword for an example, he has a speed boost. The Animal Realm, a spiked club with a damage or power increase. Ashura Realm, the giant shield which blocked Zero's arena sized attack with ease. Preta Realm releasing the giant scythe thanks to the emotion of hatred. This realm also has 2 named attacks that cause massive damage and have one-shot potential if they hit directly, or at least according to Hades and Zeus. Pretty reliable sources. One is called the Karma Destroying Samsara Cycle and the Karma Destroying Samsara Cycle Eterna. We never got to see the Inferno Realm, but we did get another weapon which links into his Common Destiny ability, also called Devotion in other translations. This ability is similar to the Valkyrie's Volume ability, which allows humans to harm the gods, but perhaps Buddha's is even better. By entrusting one's fate to another, they can draw out the limits of their power. Buddha did this with Zero after Hajun destroyed his divine staff. Using part of the Misery Cleaver divine weapon as a base, Divine Weapon Lotus, a volume is used by Buddha to create a new divine weapon, the Great Nirvana Sword Zero. I'm just going to call it the Lotus Sword. Brynhilde also calls it the ultimate divine weapon that only Buddha could create, with that pretty much meaning Buddha's volume ability is better than what the Valkyries can do. This weapon also has a named attack, Blade of the Celestial Eyes Awakening, Mahapari Nirvana, which one-shot Hajun by cutting through his whole body. So those are Buddha's weapon-based abilities, but he has something else unique, the Pure Enlightenment, 8 Consciousness, Future Vision. People mistakenly think Buddha can only see one move ahead with this, but Brynhilde states that he can see a moment ahead, which is much more impressive. We even had the narrator call it a cheat power. This ability works as Buddha can see the fluctuations of people's souls in the form of light, with people's souls always moving before the body. As such, Buddha will always know what will happen next, allowing him to prepare for a perfect dodge, counter, or whatever really. The only known counter for this is, as we know, Hajun, who is pretty much the embodiment of darkness, but Buddha used his insane will and shit talking to put fear into Hajun, revealing the light of the soul, allowing Buddha to use future vision on Hajun, and of course defeat him with it. We don't know the extent of this ability, with the only mention being a moment ahead, but you can probably argue some pretty crazy stuff considering the ways he used it, like him always being a move ahead knowing everything that will happen, and he moves before the opponent attacks with this ability. Now let's go over more general things. He isn't scared of any god, willing to kill all of them, Zeus included, one of the 4 sages alongside Jesus. People like talking about the strongest statements we get throughout Ragnarok, so of course Buddha got his own one. He is called History's Strongest Adolescent. Defeated the legendary berserker Hajun, who destroyed half of the underworld. He could have very well been stronger in his fight against Buddha as well, as the soil Zero was better than whatever it was previously, as we learned that Hajun's body couldn't handle his insane power in the past. Without future vision, he was still relative enough to Hajun to keep the fight going, which demonstrates his high level of base speed without the use of future vision. His power is very impressive, having multiple, as stated and shown, one-shot moves. Durability is kinda hard to say in Record of Ragnarok, as most characters can damage one another, but does have insane will, being able to continue fighting after losing an eye and getting stabbed through the stomach. So yeah, regardless, Buddha is an absolute beast. Now let's go over some what if battles in a tier list like format. Alright, this is the tier list I have here. So at the top, Buddha would lose more likely. Either way, him winning high diff, him winning mid diff, him winning low diff, and don't know / who cares, as there's different forms of certain characters and characters we don't really know a lot of stuff for in this tier list I found. So let's start with pretty much base form Shiva, probably a mid diff I'll say, and then for the transformation Shiva I'll probably say high diff. There's no reason Buddha's future vision won't work on him, so yeah, I think Shiva should be around there for his 2 transformations. Raiden is probably a mid diff. Again, doesn't have too many counters for Buddha, kind of gets rolled by future vision, and again definitely gets sliced up by, for example, Buddha's scythe or anything like that if he uses the Lotus Sword or something like that. I'm not really sure which version of Buddha I'm using because it doesn't really matter. It's mainly about whether they can counter future vision or not, as Buddha has one-shot attacks in his base and mini transformation form, or whatever you want to call it. Jack, probably a low diff, even in London is going to be a feels bad. Hercules, before becoming a god, definitely low diff. Where's Ares? Ares is relative to pre-god Hercules. I saw him here, yeah, get down here, boy. Oh wait, this is another Shiva. I'm just going to put him there as well. That's endgame Shiva. I don't know why there's 3 of them, but whatever, pretty much the same, mid diff. I'm just going to put him down there, doesn't really matter. Who do we have? So we have start of fight Sasaki, probably a mid diff, but end of fight Sasaki I'm going to put in either way. I may do a future video going into more detail to try and work out a definitive winner, but yeah, I'm going to put it in either way for now. Sasaki at the end of the fight is kinda quite broken, so yeah, I'm not too sure. He could maybe go there, but I'm going to leave him there for now as I'm not really sure. I'm just going to say either way. That's a duplicate. Raiden in his like, I don't know, guess I'm more ant form, doesn't really change much if I'm being honest. Put it there. Poseidon, I'm going to put him in either way as well. He is one of the more speedy type characters, and we don't really know how someone as fast as Poseidon would work with Buddha's future vision, so it's kind of hard to say. Again, I may do a future video going over that, but we did see a few instances of Buddha using future vision to counter multiple fast attacks at the same time, but I don't think any of Hajun's attacks were as crazy speed wise as some of the stuff Poseidon pulled out, but yeah, again, not really that sure. Lu Bu, I'm probably going to put in the top of mid diff. He could potentially, you know, one-shot Buddha with his Sky Eater attack, but can he perform that? Can he hit Buddha with that? Most likely not, but Lu Bu does have that insane will and endurance as well, so he may potentially push, you know, to do something. The evolved version of Hercules, again, probably mid diff, would do better than Jack the Ripper, but again, not too much of a struggle for Buddha to defeat him. Adam, I do think, would likely defeat Buddha. Again, there is a way Buddha would win, but again, Eyes of the Lord is very broken. If you haven't seen my How Strong is Adam video, we're going to truly how insane that ability is. Make sure to check that out. So yeah, I definitely give it to Adam. Not saying there's no circumstance where Buddha can't win, but I'm just going to say Adam is more likely to win. And a similar thing for Adamas's, being able to spam Fist that surpasses time is quite broken. For the regular form of Zeus, I'm going to put him either way. He can, you know, use the Fist that surpasses time once, but I want to believe Buddha can counter it once, but spam's definitely not. So yeah, Damasus there, regular Zeus probably in either way. Could go there, but I'm just going to leave him there for now. Who else do we have? So Hajun, as we know, defeated him pretty much high diff. Probably could go there because as soon as he got Future Vision back, he kind of stomped him. But yeah, Adamas, not too much to say. Zero, it was pretty much low diffing Zero if I'm being. I would have been mid diff, but it was pretty much low diffing. A low diff is where you don't really struggle at all. You don't have to like transform your weapon or anything like that in Buddha this low diffs. 4, I'm gonna put in the high diff. He isn't really that like tricky to deal with for someone like Buddha, who more so relies on countering what your opponent does, with him just having his big oof, you know, 4 hammer slam. So Buddha could theoretically just dodge that and then slice 4 up, as Lu Bu kind of did a similar thing, but Buddha would be like much better at it. Shiva's friend doesn't really matter. I think these guys are the lucky guys, definitely get low diffed. So yeah, that's what I think for this tier list. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and as always, shout out to the people who support the channel via the Patreon. But yep, that's it guys, peace.